All right, this is Amy Sugg. I'm Odyssey Goal. Amy, you are the owner of Dragon's Den, and you just became the owner of Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
And this has been a really long-standing business in the community, I think 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So it seems that you've taken this over as partly as a passion project to kind of keep what this business has to the community, keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the legacy, right? So I've been managing here anyway for the last over a year, and I've just really been able to get like into the flow of like the legacy of the shop and what it really means for the community. I've been able to really like see the heart in it, and so when this business became for sale, I knew that I was just the right one for it. It's really an honor and a privilege to take on this so-called, I would call it like a mantle or a passing of anointing in ways of being able to just like continue to serve the community. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you said that you're an herbalist, and this is like basically an herbal store.
Yeah.
What kind of first got you into herbalism?
Oh yeah, so it's kind of a whole story, right? Because everybody has like an origin story. I really wasn't into herbs, but I was like in my teens and 20s. My mom was a little bit more, so I was inspired by her. We did gardens and things like that. I lived on an orchard and had like some farming background. But when I was in my 30s, 20s and 30s, I had issues with my hormones. I had a few miscarriages. And I was struggling with that, and the doctors, of course, had all these things they wanted to do with me. And I was like, there's got to be a different way for this. There's got to be a better way. And so I started to really like dig in for myself, right? And like, what can I do in my body? I started to use my body as like a gauge of like some different herbs and different supplements. And I found things that really worked well for me. And I was like, it was like such a powerful aha moment that I actually could be in control of my own health to some degree, right? And that it was actually at my fingertips. And it almost felt like I was like a kid in a candy store, because like the amount of options that the earth has to offer us like is never ending. And it still feels like that to me. So it feels just really empowering. Yeah. And so that's what started me. I also was really interested. My mom was a medication nurse for a lot of years, so I knew medications. I thought about going into pharmacy, being a pharmacy technician. And I was going to go to school for that. And then I heard in my heart, you need to go back to the basics, go even back farther. And so that's really what drew me into it all. So I had it from a couple different angles.
And now that you've kind of taken on this more, like you said, ancient and old method,
Yeah.
what have you seen? Because it's like, I mean, people do pharmaceuticals to get a benefit.
Yeah.
It's like, and what have you seen with herbs? How have you seen herbs really affect? Because it affected your life in helping you with miscarriages and helping you with your hormones. Mm-hmm. How have you seen it affect other people?
Yeah. So like using herbs rather than pharmaceuticals, or what do you mean like in pharmaceuticals? So yeah. I think there's really a place for pharmaceuticals, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to diss them in any way, because I really do value them. Like I said, my mom worked in that industry for a lot of years, and I really got to know them in a way maybe other people didn't know them. However, I think that there's a time and a place for those, right? I think that we overuse them. They have so many side effects. So with the herbal world, you see less side effects, a little bit safer in a lot of ways. Also can be not safe. It really has to be done carefully. But I just feel like, people jump into, oh, there's a pill for that, or we can fix it with this. And it's not a fast fix. So going back to your basics, going back to the pharmaceutical, or going back to the herbal and nutrition and all those things really causes you to start at the core level and to realize that, like, no, not everything's just fixed like that with, like, just throw a pill at it. But also what's so great is so many pharmaceuticals were started from herbs. Back way then, and even not that long ago, early 1900s, we have like different, like penicillin was from mold, and we have like aspirins from white willow bark. And so it's just that they have gone through labs at this point to pull out their active constituents and to separate them, so then we don't have the full benefit of the full plant. So if we can like just understand that they can both be very beneficial and work hand in hand, but we don't have to go to a doctor to go get white willow bark. We can get that in our garden, or we can get that from our pharmacy, or if not from a pharmacy, but from our apothecary. And so that's powerful, that we don't have to go through the medical world if we, if there's a reason that we can't.
And with herbs, you've seen slower changes that.
Yes and no. So herbs can work really fast, depending on the dosage that you take. Sometimes an herb can actually show you more of what's going on in your body. So it can take a little longer to be like, oh, I started this herb and now, oh, that actually wasn't what the issue was. It's like, for an example, I've got pain in my hip, or I've got sciatic pain. And it's like, oh, I could just take ibuprofen. And that just like takes the pain away. It stops the signals from reaching your brain and your body doesn't know it's in pain. Or I could take turmeric. And then the turmeric I might think it's my sciatic, right? But I take turmeric and the pain's still there. And so I'm realizing, oh, maybe it's not inflammation, maybe there's nerve damage, right? So instead of just covering up with the pharmaceuticals and just like not getting to the root of it. So sometimes the herbs can take a little longer because you are kind of like sifting through what your symptom really is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it helps you navigate it in a way
It
that
does.
is, as opposed to just like having a really loud sound, you're like, we can take care of the symptom. This is actually like, oh, what is the root cause?
Yeah.
It's more of a conversation that you're having with the body.
Yeah. So, I mean, a person can just, it's like if you just want to shut your body up, like throw something at it, shut it up. But what good is that going to do you long term? It's going to come back. Or the minute you go off of that, I'm just going to say ibuprofen. I'm not against ibuprofen. I think it is good for times, but I think it can be hard on the body when you take it long term. It's hard on your stomach and your liver and all that. I don't remember where I was going with that. However, I don't mean to I don't demonize medications. I don't demonize them because I think there's a place for them, and I'm so thankful, for the current medical system. Like we're not in the dark ages, and so there's a lot of really great things. However, we do need to tune into our bodies. Yeah.
It's using all the tools that we have available.
Yeah, exactly.
So how have you, is there like a particular story that you have of where you've seen these, kind of like this approach really work for someone?
So I have. So I'm going to go kind of into like the idea of like hormones, right? So especially female hormones, they cycle, right? And I won't go deep into that, but that's my specialty in the herb world. That's really, obviously, that's what like propelled me into it. So that's like what I know the best and like what I've really like dug deep, and I'm still digging deep into it. But a lot of times, you'll maybe go to the doctor and like a woman's having like whatever issue, and so they put you on birth control. And what does birth control do? It gives you the same, it doesn't let you cycle. It keeps you in this consistent hormonal like influence. And so like in a situation like that, herbs are so great because you can give your body different herbs at different points in your cycle to really support yourself. And women have done so good with that because it takes you from this phase to the next phase to the next phase. It can reduce like miscarriages. It can reduce pain. It can just like really balance the body. So not treating the body as like that it does the same thing all the time, which, I think that's a pretty good example maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, birth control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great example.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, with all this knowledge and experience, kind of like how has that really helped you in like running Dragon's Den? How's that?
Yeah, it has really, it's helped me because probably the biggest benefit that I've had is, so when I go through things, right, when things are difficult for me, even though I'm like, shoot, what is my body doing? I got to figure this out, and it's like a mystery to solve. I get through it, and then suddenly people are like, hey, I'm dealing with this. And I'm like, oh my God, I've dealt with that. Or, oh my gosh, I just talked to this person who's dealing with it. And so it's like whatever I've had to work through and take, I know that there's going to be a benefit from it later, right? It's like, oh, I have an ulcer. You know, like, oh, this really hurts and it really sucks for me. I really don't want to have this ulcer. However, I'm going to heal it naturally. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to try different things. And then I find a solution. And then I can say, hey, this worked for me, guys. I had that exact same thing. And so that's probably the biggest, that's probably the most useful thing in this business right now. In like working in an apothecary and working with people in their health is like, this is what I used, or this is what I give to my husband, or this is what I did for my kids when they did this. And people are like, oh, well, cool, because it's not like I'm just guessing. I've actually used it on my own body.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I know.
You're like, I've done it for myself.
Yeah, especially if you're like, oh, this is what I give to my husband. And they're like, oh, you give it to your husband? Okay. You know, I'm gonna give it to my husband, you know, or whatever. So that does, and I always encourage people to study. And I tell them why I do it. But we're just living this life together. We're just doing all this together, you know? And maybe I've done it before you and you can just take my advice.
So for 2026, now that you've taken over Draven's Den, it's like, what is your kind of vision for this year? What is kind of your vision to spread the word of kind of like the power of this stuff? And kind of, you said community is important to you.
Mm-hmm. So community is really what it's all about, right? So I've always been very community oriented and just kind of, so my background is youth ministry. I used to work, I don't know if you knew that about me, but for years my husband and I, we worked in the church and in youth ministry and with the kids, and you know, it's all about community and relationship. And the Dragon's Den, very much feels like ministry to me. I mean, it is like the same heart. It is like the same give and take that happens on the daily here. And so I see it like that. So I see just like loving everybody, accepting everybody, helping everybody to have the tools that they need. If I don't know, I'm going to refer them. You know, think about like what a church would do. Oh, you need food. We don't have a food pantry here, but I do know who has a food pantry. And so I see that like with the Dragon's Den. It's like, no, we don't do acupuncture in-house, but I know an acupuncturist. And maybe I've gone to them. I'm like, they're great. I've gone to them. Go check them out, you know? So that's really what I want the Den to be, is this hub of like, to come and to get information and to talk and to feel accepted and loved and seen and heard, and to leave feeling more empowered.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, just like one last thing you want to kind of let people know about what you love in Dragon's Den?
I mean, I really love when people come in and just want to talk, you know? I mean, sometimes people come in and they'll stay really, really long, and I love that, but sometimes I'm busy working. But like people come in just to say, oh, I knew you were working today and I wanted to say hi. And then I'm able to just like share a cup of tea, and that to me is like, that makes my whole day. Just like that relational. So that's a big deal.
That's beautiful. Thank you for chatting with me today.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, aloha guys. Go check out Dragon's Den. It's in Makawao, and we'll see you soon.